So the first question is, why did you choose your fields and what do you do?
Well, I'll start with what I do first. I work for an environmental engineering firm. We're in consulting. Specifically, I work in our national compliance practice, which helps with being in compliance with federal and state regulations, whether that be air permitting, water permitting, waste management, things of that nature. And I got into it through an internship that I had after my junior year with the current company I'm working for. It's called O'Brien and Gere Engineers. I enjoyed working there that summer so much that I really liked the industry and just decided to keep looking for a job in it all through my senior year. I was lucky enough to actually get a job with the same company in a different office, in a different role, but same company, same industry, and I got very lucky that way.
Our next question, what is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job is how many different types of things I get to do throughout my day, throughout my year, throughout really my career so far. I knew I didn't really want to go the traditional route for chemical engineering, knowing that I'd probably get pretty bored or tired just doing the same type of work every day. Being in consulting, specifically environmental engineering, gave me an opportunity to do lots of different things. I've worked in our remediation practice in my time with O'Brien and Gere before shifting full-time to compliance. But even with compliance, I get to work with air regulations, stormwater management, hazardous waste, residual waste, normal regulatory reporting requirements that just happen every year that don't have to do with any kind of media. There's something new every day, every month, all sorts of different clients that I get to deal with, the food and beverage industry, pharmaceutical, just normal manufacturing. There's all sorts of different things and all sorts of different projects. And that kind of variety really makes coming to the office every day a lot easier.
Cool. And this makes the next question kind of different, I guess, but what is a typical day at work like for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, this leads right into it. A typical day at my job, specifically in my role, there really isn't one. As I said, I get to do lots of different things. Typical day for me, I might be managing between 5 to 6 different projects in a day. That can be as many as 12 in a given month. Spread over, as many clients. It's a little different than some of the other people in my company. A lot of people in my company may only work on 1 to 2 projects at a time. But being in compliance, we have much smaller projects, quicker turnaround times, usually about a month to 2 months, which lends to having more projects to deal with. But like I said, it makes it a lot more fun coming to work. I'll get in, I'll check my email, work on whatever I have to work on that day, probably take a couple phone calls with clients. Every once in a while, maybe about once a week or twice a week, I have to go out and actually meet a client at their site, whether it be the plant they work at or their offices, something like that, which is another great way to change things up, getting in front of the clients and being out of your office and either at a site or at another office and getting to be face-to-face with the people you work for. That makes it interesting as well.
Well, it sounds like your current career is really meaningful and exciting. So how do you think that Lafayette helped prepare you for such a career?
It's a great question. I think especially with environmental engineering and consulting in particular, you need to have great communication skills. And Lafayette, being a liberal arts college, first and foremost, gives you that background you need that a lot of other engineering schools or technical schools might not afford you. Being able to take not only the writing emphasis that the chem engineering department focused on, but also having to take liberal arts classes that require a completely different style of writing really made me well-rounded. And for the consulting field, you need to be able to communicate not just with technical people, not just with managers who are also engineers, but with people who may have no engineering background, who may have a legal background, who may have a HR background or a health and safety background, and being able to communicate with them, to be able to write. It's afforded me many opportunities that I don't think I would have had otherwise. I've seen, even in my short time working, a lot of people get blocked by not being able to communicate specifically through writing very well. And if you can get that skill really nailed down while you're in school, it'll really go a long way to helping you in your career, no matter what you do, whether it's consulting or just a typical engineering job. Being able to write is a real differentiator.
Cool, thank you. Is there anything else you want to say to the first-year students?
Enjoy your time at Lafayette. Take advantage of everything you can. It's something I didn't do enough of. All the brown bags, all the nightly speakers, go to every single one of them. It's going to seem boring then, but you're going to get older and you're going to be way more interested in learning things, and it's a lot harder when you're out of school. So take advantage of it while you can.
Thank you, Chris. This has been great. Bye now.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.